All right, here we are. It's Thursday. Distribute, combine like terms, remove the extra variable, add, subtract, multiply, divide. However, if you take a note on your paper, there are 4 and 5 steps. So we're going to go over a couple of these that are going to have 5. Obviously, number 1 is going to have 5 steps on it. They'll alternate just about every other one. You might double up. What'll happen is that some of the 4-steppers are on the odds and some are in the evens, so they'll be moving around. So let's take a look at this one. Sometimes if I want to know how many steps there are, I look at the distribute and combine. I can see there's that extra x right there or k right there. So for me, I know that that's what that's going to be. You can run out here and put your 1s in here if you want to. That's perfectly fine. That'll help you out. A lot of people like that one. So our first step, of course, is distribute. So distribute and combine, that's our simplification process. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is the distribute part right here. It is 3 times 1, which is 3, and they have a k together. And then 3 times -5, which is -15. Or -15, we'll put it there. And then everything that's out on the outside, you're just going to bring that down. The 1k minus 30 equals 1k. We want to make sure there's an operation in here, and since 3 is positive, we'll use a plus. Let me jump on to our next one. So we distributed there. Now we're going to combine like terms. So we look here, we look on this side, and we cannot combine. No variable, variable. Then we look on this side, variable, variable. So we know those two will go together, and no variable, so that won't go together. Now, if there wasn't a k there, you would have to add it to all 3, but there isn't. So let's look at that. 1 plus 3 is 4. And they, of course, have a k. Don't lose your k. 3 times 1 has a k. Remember, it has a k. When you add them together, it still has a k. All right, we bring down that -15, and then everything else that's not in the circles. We go to our third step, which is remove the extra variable. I do prefer the lowest extra variable, the less. We can use our number line here if we need to. We have a 1k and a 4k. Well, there's 4, there's 1. 1 is closer to the less, so 1 is what we want to take. Since it's plus 1k, we're going to subtract 1k from both sides. Make sure we're taking our k's. That's the important part. We're eliminating them. Our opposite operations, our +1 and -1, all disappear. We're left with that. -30 equals 4 minus 1 is 3k. Make sure you remember the k, guys. We keep losing those. And we bring that -15 down. Let me jump to our next step was remove what is added or subtracted to the variable. Notice I'm saying removing what's added or subtracted, not removing the variable. So 2 ways to look at this. I know that 3 is attached to the k. It's the very last thing that's coming down. I'm dealing with -15. However, if you don't know, start covering up numbers. If I cover up the 3, boy, that's k minus 15. There's our added and subtracted. If I cover up the 15, that's 3 times k. So since it's -15, I'm going to add 15 to both sides of the equation. 15s are gone because they're opposite operations. We're left with that 3k. And -30 plus 15 is -15. And our final step, the whole reason we do this, is so that we can get to this division at the end, and we're going to divide by the number in front of the variable, which is the 3. Our opposite operations times and divide by 3 are gone. And k equals -15 divided by 3 is -5. Excuse me. This shouldn't be difficult. This is what we've been doing, 5 steps. However, we're going to mix them up a little bit. We're going to be taking away a step, in particular the combine like terms part. So on this next one, in number 2, you're going to notice it's a little bit shorter. By the way, just for any of you who are working ahead, number 3 is a weird one. And I'm going to go over that one and then another example. So let's look at, we still do the same thing. We still follow our sheet. Even though there's going to be 4 steps, we still go through these steps. Can we distribute? Can we combine like terms? Can we remove an extra variable? Can we add or subtract? Can we multiply or divide? So we're still going to look at distribute. That still happens to be here where the parentheses are. I know there's nothing else out here, so I know for me, I know the combine like terms is the thing that's missing. So I'm going to go ahead and start multiplying or doing that distribute part. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. It has an x with it, so I keep the x. Then I'm going to do this one, negative 4 times negative 2, and that gives me 8. Bring down the equals, bring down the negative 10 plus 5x. And I have a whole new problem that I want to deal with. Since I've already dealt with distribute, I'm going to go to combine like terms. Can I combine anything over here? Chris, do you know? Can I combine anything? No. Can I combine anything over here? No, so I skip it. No combine like terms. So now I have an extra variable. Now I look at the two variables. And look, guys, it's the one with the x and the one with the x. So we're not looking at these two. So we have negative 4 and 5. And if you look at your number line, that one's an easy one because there's 5, there's negative 4. Negative 4 happens to be closest to less, so negative 4 is our least value. So we're going to add for x. Make sure you take your x with you. Our opposite operations, minus 4 plus 4, are gone. We remain with the 8. We also bring down that negative 10, and then 5 plus 4 is 9x. And note, I put a plus in there because 9 was positive. We still go on. Can we remove anything from the variable? Anything that's added or subtracted? Well, if I start covering up numbers, if I cover up that 10, I've got 9 times x. If I cover up that 9, which I can do, we have negative 10 plus x. So we're going to look right here. The 10 is negative, so that means minus. We're going to think of it as a minus, so we're going to add 10 to both sides. That plus belongs to the 9. So minus 10 plus 10, their opposite operations are gone. We bring down that 9x, and 8 plus 10 is 18. And we go to our last step, which is the easy one. Since it's times 9, we're going to divide by 9. Opposite operations, guys. X is remaining. 18 divided by 9 is just 2. Easy peasy. Rome, are you on number 3? That one's a little weird. I'm going to do that right now. All right, number 3 is an outlier. It mistakenly got on there. I just noticed it when I wrote it down. So pay attention. You still follow your steps. There is still distribute in here, and you can see that distribute part right here. Make sure that that negative from that 8 goes with it. So negative 8 times 1 and negative 8 times 1m. So negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Negative 8 times 1m is negative 8m. We bring down that 2, the equals, and the negative 6m. Still should run the same so far. That missing number over here is not going to make a difference right now. We're going to combine like terms. No variable, no variable, variable. So the no variables get combined. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Bring down that negative 8m and that negative 6m. In all actualities, if you use your number line for the remove the extra variable, so when you see the 2, we're going to ignore that negative 6. What's smaller, negative 6 or negative 8? There's negative 6, there's negative 8. So negative 8 is smaller, right? In this particular one, it's going to work okay for you. If you chose to take this number, you will cancel out and you will have a 0 on this side to work with. And I think I might do this problem both ways so that you get an idea how to work this if you ever see this again. So what you should have done, and I would have done it anyway since there's no number over here, I would have gone ahead and take this one regardless of what it was. So I would have added 8m. The 8s are gone. And we're left over here with 2m. Well, there's nothing added or subtracted to the variable, right? So guess what do? We skip that step. We distributed, we added, subtracted, we got rid of the extra variable, but there's no add or subtract. So we just simply skip the add and subtract part, but what is left is the division part. Okay? Don't get confused. Remember, it's process. If you can do it, do it. If you can't, skip it. Negative 6 divided by 2 is 3, negative 3. So let me work this one the other way if you would have chose to go the other direction, because some of you, I don't think, care about that lowest extra variable. You just take the first one that comes to you. I'm going to go through this a little fast until I get to the spot that we need to worry about. So here's the distribute part, and we did that real quick. We knew that was negative 8 and negative 8m. We needed to bring down the 2 equals and the negative 6m. We're going to combine like terms. That's the 2 and the -8, which is -6 minus 8m comes down. That comes down. Now this is the part where if you would have taken the -6, this makes a difference. So take a look up there, everybody. If we would have added 6m, take a look at that, Rome. If we would have added 6m, we would have ended up these canceling out, but you cannot leave this side blank. It has to be a 0. Okay, good. And then we do that part. I was just showing you just in case somebody went the other direction. Now, the thing is, if you went that direction, you actually gave yourself a whole nother step, because now I have to add the 6 because that stays. So I have to add 6 to both sides. This makes it 6 and -2m, and then you have to go ahead and divide by -2. Notice all the negatives when you go the other direction. Those are gone. Still equals -3. And you'll note that depending on which direction you chose, whoops, that was -3. Depending on what direction you chose to go, you end up with one more step. Most people get confused. They blank that out and then they leave this blank, or they drop a number over here, and those numbers have to stay here. So you just remember that if they cancel, there's no other number over there, you have to put a 0. There has to be a number on that one side. I did want to do one more. This one's not there. This one you're going to skip combining like terms. So I'm going to go through it really fast just so you get that same idea. This one's not on your paper. We're going to do this distribute part. That's a 1. So 3 times 1 is 3x. 3 times -1 is -9. You don't have to write this down if you don't want to. You want to take note, but just so you get that pattern of what's going on. You cannot combine like terms. You cannot combine like terms. We just skip that stuff. We go on to the next one. Remove the extra variable. Well, it's either the 3 or the 2. Well, I like the 2 because it's less. That's going to give me a positive number. That's gone. Here, 3 minus 2 is 1x. I'm just going to leave it as x. I'm going to show you that route. Because you can put a 1 there. You can leave the 1 off. And I think I like leaving the 1 off. So remove what's added or subtracted. Well, it's the -9, so I'm going to get rid of the 9. I'm left with x, and -13 plus 9 is -4, and that's it. There's nothing to divide. If you would have left the 1 there, you divide by 1, but you still get the same answer. All right? So if you don't have a step, skip it. If you don't have a step, skip it. Just go on to the next step. Make sure you read. Make sure you know what those steps are. All right? Enjoy, guys.